All right, so we're going to do round 2 of the toothy versus polished knife sharpening. My friend has provided these 2 identical Fibrox chef's knives. I think they're 8 inches. They're both extremely dull. If you can see that, I'm kind of doing the Murray Carter 3-finger thing here and just sliding my fingers just to show you the paper. I can get it to rip it. Yeah, it catches a little bit. It's really pretty, or they both are really quite, there we go, there's just a little bit of something to it, but you know, it's really pretty unusable. So we're going to sharpen these up. I'll come back and give you some details and show you the results. So I'm going to start the sharpening process with this guy, which is going to be the polished knife. I'm starting with the 180 grit A100 Trizac belt. It's really hard to show the sharpening process and actually get it done in an efficient way, so I'm just going to cut this and come back when I'm done with the polish. All right, so I've stepped through 3 belts, the 180, the 400, and the 600 Trizac. I've formed a burr on both sides with both belts. Surprisingly, it was really easy, especially with the higher grit belts. Just 1 pass per side did it. I think you can see that nice silver line which represents the burr going along the full length of the edge here. Might be a little hard to see it. It's hard to tell on this small screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to polish the burr off with the leather belt here, which is loaded with just a little bit of compound. I might add a little more. This will take the burr right off and should make it extremely sharp. Right back. Okay, we're back. As I said, I finished polishing this up to 600 grit. I've got the tape on it to tell me this is the polished one. Deburred it with the leather with green compound. I forgot to mention I was using the Cali Rest angle guide here, so I set it at approximately 15 degrees. You know, it doesn't really matter. It's more the consistency that makes the difference as opposed to the exact angle. So this polished up real nice, and just show you how this polished edge does on this ad paper. I think you can tell this is extremely sharp. You know, it's not that big a challenge to make a polished edge like this. And I made extra steps to make sure the tip was just as sharp. You can see it does that too. All right, so on to the next blade, and we'll give it a toothy edge and see how they compare. All right, back with the second blade. This one's going to be the toothy one. It right now is completely dull, as I demonstrated before. We're again going to start with a 180 grit Trizac belt, and that's basically where I'm going to stop. The only thing I'm going to do to refine this is, well, it's not really even refining it. I'm going to use the Scotch-Brite here, what do they call this? The Very Fine, I think. Anyway, it's the blue Scotch-Brite, and then I will probably use the inside of this leather belt, which is the skin, or it's the meat side, so it's the rough side of the leather, and it doesn't have any compound on it like this smooth side does. So that means it's going to have no polishing action at all. It's just going to rip off the last little bits of the burr. So I'm going to get to that and show you the results. All right, so here's the blade after the 180 grit belt only. There we go. We can actually see the burr on that. It does run full length, even if I can't get the angle exactly perfect. There we go. There we go. Full length burr. So now I'm just going to take it off with the Scotch-Brite and the leather, and I'll come back and show you the results. All right, I'm done deburring the toothy blade. Toothy. It ended up quite sharp also, though I can hear a difference in the sound when I cut paper with it live. Not sure if you'll be able to hear it with this camera, but let's see if you can. Let's also see if I can get a good cut on camera. So it's louder. It's not as smooth to the paper, which makes sense because it's not as highly polished of an edge, but it's plenty sharp. I mean, it's extremely, extremely sharp. Let's let you hear the polished back to back and see if the camera picks up the difference in the sound. Much quieter, with a higher pitch tone, and again, just as sharp. That's the polished edge. All right, we're going to do some more. We're going to come back and do some more tests with these guys. All right, we're going to get some measurements on the best tester here to get some real objective measurements, starting with Mr. Toothy. Let's see how he scores. .215, respectable score for sure. Let's restretch the filament and do a test on the polished one. This filament is it's a little like fishing line, but it's thinner. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's real hard to see sometimes. Is kind of the point here. All right. All right, got that stretched properly. And we'll test Mr. Polished. Let's tear that out. Same thing back here in the heel. .180, so definitely sharper. Let's do something more interesting. Let's do the rolled newspaper test again, which I've shown in a previous video. And this is really good at showing just how much grab the edge has. If you ever tried to cut anything like tomato skin or garlic skin or plastic or anything that's got some, I'm not sure how to describe it, something that's got some toughness to it that's also slick, then you know what I'm talking about here, that you need a blade that can do certain things. So if you try to do a push cut on this, it just squashes it because it's just rolled up paper. So we're going to do a sawing motion. We're going to count how long it takes to get through. So 1, 2, 3, and if you can see, it's now in the paper, so it won't be much longer now. 4, 5, that's pretty much to the bottom, but let's call that 6. Let's call it 5. It's pretty much all the way through the paper. Let's grab the polished one, or sorry, the toothy one, and do the same thing. Again, a push cut does nothing. We come back here and we'll start with 1. And if you can see, that's in the paper now. And I haven't gone all the way. 1, 2, it's mostly to the bottom. 3, that's definitely touching all the way to the bottom. So the toothy edge absolutely does better on these saw cuts and will damn sure do better on real world tasks where you need this kind of grab. The polished one does the task, just not nearly as well as the toothy one does. Right in on the first cut and to the bottom. All right, so toothy versus polished. The polished edge is slightly sharper. The toothy edge is toothier and has more grab on stuff. All right, there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.